A second type of collision is between a continent and a continent. Here again, our map of the tectonic plates shows that the Indian subcontinent plate ran headlong into the Eurasian plate, a collision between continents. As this illustration shows, when two great bodies of granite run into one another, one does not easily subduct under the other because they're of approximately equal weight. So unlike the collision between a continent and an ocean, where we have simple subduction, here we have a massive pileup of rock. This is exactly what happened in the case of India's collision with Eurasia, as we are reminded in this map of Pangaea. The Indian subcontinent, beginning about 160 million years ago, began to break off and move north from what is now East Africa, finally at about 50 million years ago, slamming into Eurasia. When that occurred, as this map of earthquakes and volcanoes shows, there were a series of earthquakes that continue today as the Indian subcontinent continues to move north into Eurasia and to create these tremendous jolts or earthquakes on the continent of Asia. For example, in 2005, Pakistan, particularly the northern part of Pakistan, or what is now Kashmir, experienced one of the most destructive earthquakes in Pakistan's history, the Great Pakistani Earthquake of 2005. More recently, secondary earthquakes have occurred in southwestern China, in particular the 2008 earthquake in Sichuan province, which was so destructive and traumatic for people in that region. Finally, in addition to these earthquakes, we see mountain formation, most notably of the great Himalayan chain and its highest peak, Mount Everest, pictured here, which continues to rise as the Indian plate advances northward, forcing this increasingly high pileup of rock known as the Himalayas. This final illustration of the topographical profile of the sub-Indian continent shows the large arc of mountains formed by this collision, running from the Hindu Kush at the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan in the west, up through the Pamirs and Karakoram mountains due north, and finally across the breadth of northern India and the border with China in the great Himalayan range.